workers. We know how hard you work.
Thank you, sir.
We know that it's a Monday morning and you may have 100 fever and you're feeling junky, but you get up and go to work because you believe in your job. We also know there are a lot of people in Washington who spend their time kicking you around. They always like to have a scapegoat. Some days it's immigrants. Some days it's people of color. Some days it's the elderly.
Yes, sir.
All too often they do that, and all too often it is you.
All right.
But we have your back. We know how important your jobs are, and when in this budget our Republican friends proposed cutting our federal workers, Leader Pelosi and I said, NFW. Now, I would have spelled it out, but she went to Our Lady of Notre Dame Academy, where they teach her not to curse. In Brooklyn, it's a different story. So whoa. Thank you, that's all right. So don't let the naysayers get you down. Your work is vital to the future of America. And as you've seen in election after election, the people know what Donald Trump is and what he is doing to America. They are rebelling, they are in the streets, they are emailing, they are calling, and most of all, as we just saw in Florida, they are voting. So, as a union guy, well, I'm going to tell you a story in conclusion. I like stories. So, my grandfather was a street urchin. He came to America in 1892. And he was supposed to be raised by an uncle, but the uncle was sort of a ne'er-do-well, so he was a street urchin. He stole apples from the push carts. He would sleep in doorways. He only graduated from the first grade, never taught to read. So it's raining on the Lower East Side in New York one day, and he sees all these people going into a building. He says, I'll go in, because I don't want to get wet. What was the building? The building was the Labor Temple, built by the unions to teach the young immigrants about the union movement. Hi, Lee. I know this guy. He says he's from Cleveland, but we know he's from New York. In any case, he got in there, and who was speaking? Eugene V. Debs and Will and Ariel Durant, two of the greatest speakers of the era, and he got religion. He became a union organizer for the Paper Workers Union up in Utica, New York. But here's the punchline of the story. He lost his job when World War II started because they weren't having union organizers. So he bought a little exterminating business from a German American in Brooklyn who was sure the Nazis were going to bomb New York, and so he was getting out of there and moved to Montana. But here is what they had: 3 workers in the business. My grandfather called the 3 workers together and says, you got to form a union and ask me for more money. He was a founder of the Pest Control Union. He is the only boss who has his picture in a union hall as a founder of a union. So I have been a union guy my whole life, taught by my grandfather. And let me say, you have always, I want to say this to AFGI, AFSME, and all the other unions. Are there any that end in a Z? The Zebra Workers Union. In any case, I want to say to all of you, keep up the fight. We have your back. Thank you very much, and on to victory.
We're going to be united.